Beyond the Mic with Shaun Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by an actor and producer. You've seen him in Prison Break, Siren, and Easter Sunday with Jo Koy, among other projects. He'll be in How to Die Alone on Hulu and Chicken Sisters. We welcome Arkie Kandola.
Hey, Shaun. Thanks for having me.
Arkie, let's go beyond the mic. What made Shaun Gill the perfect character for you in How to Die Alone?
Oh, great question. These characters are written by brilliant people that see these characters being real life characters. So my journey within acting on itself, starting from no lines to being a reoccurring star on How to Die Alone, Shaun Gill was written for me long before my time. You know what I mean? It's just beautiful that I get to step into it and be the character that, Natasha Rothwell wrote.
So what did you put into Shaun Gill from you, and how have you had Arkie put into Shaun?
Great question again. Come on, Shaun. You good. Okay, I see. I'm prepared here. So it's great to be in a room full of brilliance. So when I was on set for the first day, I saw that I was in a league that you're supposed to be in, you know what I mean, when you're at this stage. And I saw that people were way funnier than me, Shaun. So I think Shaun is that guy that anybody is when he understands there's someone funnier in the room. He just shuts up and listens, you know what I mean, and laughs at the comedy. But it's such a beautiful platform created on this show and the character. I get to dance in the journey with Natasha of How to Die Alone. So it's a journey about love. It's a journey about spirituality. It's a journey about life. And to be a friend in Natasha's world who is, brown representation, it's amazing because, I've been waiting for characters like me to come on screen, you know what I mean? And to get to play them, that's get to be them. It's an amazing feat.
You're in development for the book as partner at BMA Films. As an actor, producer, what makes a good script for you?
Authentic story. I think a story being told for us, by us, you know what I mean? I think as long as there's authenticity behind the storytelling, you stay true to delivering a great product. Because at the end of the day, I think film is changing so much from when we started producing this project. Because when we started producing, it wasn't COVID, and then COVID happened, and all of a sudden you gotta go back to the drawing board. So I think it's just the journey of it being our first production, and then delivering it through a pandemic. That could probably be our second story, to be honest.
Arkie, how did the pandemic change the way you look at filmmaking and open your mind to new potentials of content creation?
Streaming obviously has taken over everybody's world. The big players, I don't think, were in the boardroom at the time because I think theatrical releases were still such a big part of blockbuster films. So I think when you take theatrical out of it, it's tough to return investors' money. And I think when you're on the producing side of things and you want to be in it for longevity, you got to return the money to the big boys, So I think that the balance of that is now the game. Do we jeopardize and go down on the budget to tell the story, or do we stay firm like any real estate and say, no, this is, what we need to tell the story?
Had to feel good to be on the Hallmark streaming platform in Chicken Sisters. What should fans expect from Gordo?
Expect surprises for sure. Well, they always told me that I had a crush on someone in the show, and I never really, kind of put it together until that scene came together, and I was like, wow, this is really happening. So I'm kind of surprised because you go into these projects not thinking or expecting much, you know what I mean? As a professional, it's like a 10-day contract. You show up, you do your job, and then, you move on. But this project was so remarkably put together. Annie Mabane was so amazing with the story. It was an actual book that was chosen by Reese Witherspoon, I think, chose the book as well as one of her favorites. And then, she wrote the story and Hallmark picked it up. The cast, Skylar Fisk, Genevieve Engelson, Leah Thompson, Wendy Malick, like just veterans in the game, you know what I mean? And it's like just to watch and observe centuries of experience on screen, work together on a daily thing, dream come true, man. That's the best classroom to be in, is when they're paying you.
Arkie, would you like to be in a Hallmark Christmas movie?
To be honest, if the story is right and the vision is there, I don't want to say no to anything. I think the power of yes is so strong, and we are just microdusts in this world. So my experiences on How to Die Alone and Chicken Sisters has been far beyond what I ever imagined. So I'm looking forward to the audiences getting to be on the journey with us.
He'll be in How to Die Alone on Hulu and Chicken Sisters in Hallmark's new streaming platform. Arkie Kandola joins us beyond the mic for the Rocky Nate. Speaking of the power of yes, you can't say no to it. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure.
Okay.
You spent time in Canmore, Alberta, hiking with a torn unilateral ligament in your elbow and ruptured muscle. I don't want to hear how you hurt yourself. Ugh, that hurts. But what was your favorite memory for the trip?
Definitely going on the hike. And my friend, I told him, I'm like, hey, man, I just kind of messed up my arm and I want to take an easy hike. And he took me on this hike that was a stream. So it iced over. So it was literally the whole hike was ice. And I looked at him and I was like, bro, I only have one arm. So I literally baby stepped all the way up. It took us a while, but I think definitely taking the time on ice when you have one arm was what I remember the most from that hike.
And a generous person who gave you a pull on the way up.
On the way back down, yes. Yo, okay. Social media is crazy, eh? What you post up.
Social media posts never truly disappear.
Yeah, I had a young lady who was probably about 65 or 68 who happened to have the ski poles or walking pole. I don't know what you call them. I just thought I was ahead of the curve with brown guy going for a hike in Canmore. I was like, nobody else brown will be out here, but there were other brown people. I was surprised, Shaun. This 2024 is changing. But yeah, she happened to offer me her pole, and I kind of gingerly came back down. So yeah, shout out to her. I think her name was Laura, if my memory does me right. So thank you, Laura, again.
What's the best thing about your mom, Arkie, and what's the one dish only she can make for you?
Okay, the best thing about my mom, I think, is resilience. I think women of the 50s and the 40s of that generation are never going to be built again. And they're being reprogrammed and recreated every day. So I think the resilience is definitely one of my greatest love points of my mother. And aloo wale parathe, easy. Anytime I go on a trip anywhere, when I come back home, it's like, Mom, whenever you have time, because I know you're busy, but I would love some aloo wale parathe. So. And
what's in that?
It's like a pan-fried dough ball with potato and herb stuffing and it's perfectly spiced, and they put butter, whipped butter on top, and then yogurt on the side. It's come on, Shaun, hey, come to Vancouver, bro. I got you. We're going to my mama's house.
Done. It's done. What games do people play that gets on your nerves?
Tough Guy in Traffic, I think, is always a good one. Yeah, I think that one is an easy one for me. And just being dishonest, I think that always gets on my nerves. Just be genuine, even if it's the tough pill to swallow. Just be your authentic self, and nothing else will be a surprise,
Where's the best place you've seen a sunset?
Oh, okay. This is a 2-part. I think Hungary, Budapest was amazing through the bridge point of watching the sunset, and Goa, India, one time. I think it was because of the pollution, but like the colors of the sun and the way and how long it felt like it was setting for 8 hours.
Wow.
But like Goa, on a New Year's too. I think it was like New Year's 2012 or something like that. But,
last time you went to a library was when, and what book did you check out?
ooh, last time. Okay, so I'm old, man. So like the last time I went to a library was probably to do a research assignment, and it wasn't to probably check out a book. It was probably to plagiarize from encyclopedias.
You're not that old. How many free throws have you made in a row at one time without missing?
Oh, come on, man. More than 75. More than 75. Easy.
No pressure here.
Oh, more. So, Shaun, I was a provincial like sharpshooter in my day. So I was a gym rat. I never left. So basketball was my first love. And then I was able to understand my strengths early. I was a shooter. I didn't go into the paint. I didn't try to full court press you. You know what I mean? I was good at coaching. You know what I mean? I knew what everybody's strengths were, but I knew I was a shooter. And boy, I practiced shooting the ball. So I think adding that to film is kind of similar. When you play a sport, you're kind of a good teammate or a bad teammate, you know? So you know other people's strengths and weaknesses. So like I know comedy comes really easy to me, but it's beautiful to be on sets with other people and see their strengths and kind of learn and adapt and be a sponge at the same time. So 75, easy. I can get a witness and like we can do affidavits and all that, Shaun, if you need it. We can go to court. I got witnesses.
What was the first guitar you ever bought and you still have it?
Never bought a guitar. Definitely posed with them for like dating app pictures. But no, I always go and rent them from a local shop here because I have an artist. His name's NY Virtuoso. He always comes to town. So I'm always renting them. And that picture that you saw on social media.
I'm always researching.
Yeah, it was just definitely for the gram, man.
What's the one thing you can always depend on your dad for?
His honesty. Yeah. Dad has always been 100% honest with me, you know? And even with acting, I remember a couple of times he's given me the deadline. Like, hey, man, like if you don't get something popping by this time, like, you know, you got to come. So he comes from an Ayurvedic herbal background. So he wanted me to come and take over the family business. And I just felt like it was too easy. You know what I mean? Especially because like it's not my love language. You know what I mean? To entertain, Shaun, I think it was something of my experience on these projects and getting to this place is film and TV lasts forever. You know, we're just temporarily visiting. And at least the work that we do will be on screen for, you know, the thousands and thousands or centuries to come. So, you know, people can tune in and be like, who was Arkie Kandola? And here he was, you know.
My love language is questions, and we have more of it with the back half with Arkie Kandola beyond the mic. You're consistently evolving with the art of life. You've released music with Arkie something. You've acted. What's your next gradual improvement you want to make?
Oh, I definitely think, you know, learning and understanding writing. I think storytelling is definitely going to be in my future, and just being truthful to it and the craft. I don't like to like, as half the world says, fake it till you make it. I like to kind of like put the work in and then let the work speak for itself.
Speaking of letting the work speak for itself, will there ever be a return to Two Turbans?
You know what? I think the world might be ready now. I think I was a little ahead of the curve, you know, 8 years ago, where, you know, the parody side of just the cultures clashing together. But, you know, we got Indian artists now that are selling out stadiums in the Western side of the world. And you know, to be honest, I have a solid fan base that still message me, you know, on the weekly of, hey, please do something. So I'm never going to say no. Again, the power of yes. Maybe. How about that, Shaun? Maybe.
Arkie, you said, quote, just because someone is lost, it doesn't make you found. Even if they can hear you, it doesn't make you sound, unquote. How has being seen in art help you?
Again, Shaun, the world is so big. Are we ever really seen? You know, and I think it starts with in the home. I think that was such a big factor for me. I just wanted to be seen in a big brown family. And then I got to do a show called Our Big Punjabi Family, where, it just, again, I think the work and the healing is a part of the journey. So did I answer your question there?
You always do. You talk about saving stuff forever. What one story that you haven't told anyone is one you would like saved forever? So,
funny story. I was on the set of The Confirmation, great stories starring Clive Owen and I don't know anybody else. Anyways, it was Clive Owen. So I was a huge Clive Owen fan.
Wow.
Most actors, you know what I mean? Like they're daily guys. They come in, they're kind of like in awe. They kind of like, play their role and they leave. I'm a shooter. So, I was on set and I remember watching Inside Man, and there was a Indian artist on that movie and that project called Waris Ahluwalia. His name was Waris Ahluwalia. And he had this really impactful scene that made that movie really stand out to me, and like if there was ever a moment of why I chose acting, I would like to thank Clive Owen, for being a part of that why. So I got to thank him and have that full circle moment, and to come back to your family and try to like translate that, it never translates. You know what I mean? Like, Shaun, my mom still till this day prays that I become an actor. Like it's just that language that old school speaks. If I'm working 3 months out of the years, or 3 months out of the year for 9 months, she's thinking I'm broke and unemployed. You know what I mean? Like that's just the mindset that, he's, not doing it. So I think translating the success to the ones that matter most and then finding the balance has been probably the one thing that I still have a tough time telling my parents, but it's the greatest joy. So I think there's a lot of things that I want to say, but there's so little time, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. What did Clive say back to you?
What's funny? I asked him if he had a daughter my age, if he wanted to have an arranged marriage and have me as a son-in-law. And I kid you not, most guys, if, like at that caliber, would be like, who the hell is this one-day actor? Get him out of here. We're going to get, the background guy to fill this guy's role. Clive laughed and said, I don't have a daughter your age.
It's time for two big questions with Arkie Kandola beyond the mic. What's the greatest power of being an actor?
Always getting better and your work living forever.
Who has taught you the most and asked the least of you?
Oh, okay. This is a two-part. I got to give a shout out to my boy Brandon J. McLaren, who is also the writer on the book, and Jesse Usher, who is also an actor. He's in The Boys, one of my greatest best friends. Both of those guys, anytime I need them, they're always there for me, and they don't ask for nothing. So I think I got to give those two guys, especially in this game, you need mentors and brothers and your kind of union that are there for you when you need crutches. So I think those two guys, definitely salute to you guys, to you big bros.
Time for the impossible question with Arkie Kandola. Quote, I don't reveal all my thoughts. Some things we're not meant to share. If you hear something from me, it is for me to release my soul. Unquote. What do you think the power of your soul is?
Understanding that I think we come from somewhere and we go somewhere, and this is just a part of the journey of understanding all of us here are on the journey together. We just kind of are sharing time, and right now, Shaun, even us beyond the mic, you know what I mean? That's kind of what you created here as a testament to your vision, understanding that this lasts forever as well. So, yeah, I think just being so good that they can't deny you. I think that is definitely a part of my mantra.
Quote, staying downtown for the weekend made me realize there's a lot of miserable souls that go through the motions of life. Hashtag appreciate the now, unquote. What do you appreciate about your life?
Having two shows that are coming out, within days amongst each other, Chicken Sisters on Hallmark and How to Die Alone on Hulu. I think the contrast of the realms, Chicken Sisters being a Hallmark show and a majority Caucasian cast, and How to Die Alone is a majority urban cast, right? Black cast. So I think the dynamics shifting of watching film, and having representation, and representation does, matter.
They'll be in How to Die Alone on Hulu and Chicken Sisters on the Hallmark streaming channel. He loves his dad's honesty. Always will have mom cook for him any chance he can. He's a sharpshooter at the free throw line, so do not challenge him. Arkie Kandola, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you, Shaun. Thank you for that time. Beyond the Mic.
And that, my friends, is Beyond the Mic. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.